friends. Welcome to Lean and Clean with Fitness Chef Christine. I'm Christine, your host, and today I want to talk to you about cottage cheese. The one I'm specifically using today is Breakstone's cottage cheese, 4%. I do the higher fat percent cottage cheese, and if you've been with me for a while, you will know I like a higher percentage of fat for one reason. It's good for your brain, and also because it's more digestible. That's actually two reasons I lied. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is show you how I generally eat my cottage cheese because it's so easy in the morning just to grab a nice piece of sourdough, spread some of that cottage cheese on there. Sometimes I'll blend it till it's nice and smooth. And then I just take some good herbs on there. Sometimes I do fresh herbs. Sometimes I do dried herbs. But either way, it makes it delicious. Sometimes I'll be decadent and I'll add just a tiny touch of olive oil to it. We'll give it a try. And there's so much flavor. It really is delicious. I decided to politely chew. But let's move on. Today we're going to use our cottage cheese in a cottage cheese dill bread that came from my mother-in-law. This is Grandma Strezpak's cottage cheese dilly bread. It was in an old church cookbook that she gave me that she used all the time. And I've made it ever since. I made it in the bakery. I make it at home. My husband loves it. All right. You will need 1 packet of dry yeast. You can use instant yeast or active dry yeast. For this one, I actually prefer the active dry yeast. So I took 1 packet and I mixed it with a 1/4 cup of water. And I'm just letting it do its thing, letting it hydrate. And then to add to that, I have got 1/4 cup of sugar and 1 tablespoon of onion powders. Yes, it's a lot of onion, but it's going to make a big loaf and it's going to give it great flavor. Then we're going to add 1 tablespoon of dill seed and 1 tablespoon of dill weed. That's where they get that nice dill flavor from. All right, then we're going to add 1.5 cups of our cottage cheese. So you'll see this adds great protein. So not only does cottage cheese taste great, but it also has a large amount of protein for very little calorie. So it makes it a fantastic choice to cook with. So, and bake with, obviously. And it also has great probiotic properties, which is good for our gut health. So obviously, if you're lactose intolerant, that's not really going to help you out a whole lot. But for the majority of us that can tolerate some lactose, it's a good choice. We're going to add 1 egg. We're just going to whisk that in. And then we're going to start with 2 cups of flour. And on top of that flour, we're going to put our salt, which is 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. That is going to help balance out the acidity so that we have a nice balance of flavor. So I'm going to go ahead and just start stirring that. And when it starts to get too difficult, I'm going to remove to my hand. There's a very specific reason why I use this bowl because it has a lid. And we're just going to cover it and let it rise right in the bowl. It makes it super easy. So now that it's gotten to the point where it's really a little bit harder to mix, I'm going to add a quarter cup of water. And I'm going to start to use my hands. So I'm going to go ahead in there, and that's warm water. And I'm going to just squeeze the dough. So you're just squeezing it all together until it comes away from the sides. Now, if you find it's too sticky, then you can go ahead and add a little bit more flour. So anywhere from 2 to 2.5 cups of flour is about the right amount. So once you've formed a ball, you're in good shape. Then we're going to go ahead and with my clean part of my hand, I'm going to go down and just over the top of it with a little bit of olive oil. We'll just pat that down. And then we're just going to cover that and let that rise for 1.5 hours. It will get nice and bulky. Between the sugar and the amount of dairy in there, it's going to fluff up very nicely. We're just going to cover that. We'll keep that on the countertop for 1.5 hours, and then we'll come up in and knead it some more. So it'll be smooth as a baby's bottom. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you another recipe with cottage cheese that is a fantastic and easy way to fuse it up. We're going to make a very quick pasta sauce. It's the Polish recipe. So if you've ever had a pierogi, you'll know that the inside is made either with cottage cheese or potatoes. There's a lot of mixtures out there. So this one originally started with cottage cheese and sour cream, and I've adapted that from sour cream to using this spinach and spinach artichoke spreadable cheese. Or you could use cream cheese. Just go ahead and put that in. Sometimes I like to saute onions and put the sauteed onions in there. But you can you can change it up however you like it. We're going to go ahead and add some white pepper in there. You can use black pepper, that's fine. I just have white pepper here. Add a little bit of salt. Always want to add salt and peppers. A tiny bit of olive oil or melted butter is fine. And then we're going to go ahead and blend this. And just to give it a little more oniony flavor, I'm going to add a little bit of onion powder to this. Go ahead and add the onions. So we still want a little bit of that onion flavor. So we're going to give a little bit of this onion. And then we'll go ahead and blend that up with a little bit of this pasta water. And some egg noodles, which is pretty traditional in Polish cooking. We've done packing egg noodle. You can try to make them from scratch if you don't have the time. But the package works just great. I'm going to go up and blend this, and then I'll show you what it looks like. You can see the egg noodles are al dente. They're not, they have a little wiggle to them, but they're not completely mushy. That's how I want them. Here is our sauce. Now remember, we didn't cook it. So it's just the cottage cheese blended with the alouette, spinach, and artichoke, or you can use cream cheese or sour cream. I put a little bit of that onion powder in there. So I used a 1/4 cup of cottage cheese and about a tablespoon of the alouette. So we're just going to cook that. And the noodles are still warm. Now I'm going to grate some fresh zucchini in there. You can certainly go ahead and cook the zucchini if you wish, but I'm going to just use it raw and let the heat of the noodle do the rest. All right, that's all I'm going to do, and then I'm just going to toss it in there. Because it's grated, it will cook super fast. And the heat of the noodles is enough to get it nice and coated in there and nice and soft. All right, now as always, begin to rotate. I need more seasoning or salt and pepper or anything. Give it a little. I really liked it. So if you're not a cottage cheese lover, let's say you don't like the tang of cottage cheese, right? You could always substitute with ricotta cheese. So, while they're not completely interchangeable in a sauce like this, it does absolutely work. They have a little sweeter, more mellow flavor. So, choose what you like. The Polish side of the family absolutely loves that tangy, cottage cheesy flavor. You could even add in some potatoes in there, and you would go just fine in pierogi. All right. So, what I'm trying to get you to do is to think a little bit out of the box. So, when I first started my weight loss journey, cottage cheese was like, cottage cheese and peaches, cottage cheese and fruit. And you know what? I never wanted to see cottage cheese again. But I don't want you to get there. I want you to think about how you can use cottage cheese in wonderful flavors, in wonderful ways that you can get it in there along with your vegetables and not feel like it's diet food, right? We were talking about fueling our body, not dieting. So I want you to change your mindset. Think that your body deserves the best fuel out there. Cottage cheese has the probiotics. Cottage cheese has that protein. Then you've got the good veggies. You've got some great sourdough bread, also gut friendly. So I want you to think about all those components. Now let's go back to our bread for a second. It's been resting for about 10 minutes. And that's like magic in bread world. So I'm going to dust it with a little more flour. We're going to dust a little bit of flour just to make it easier to handle. And just come up from the bottom. And then we're just going to leave it right into the bowl. We're just going to fold them just a couple of times till we have a nice, smooth dough ball. And then it's just going to go back and rest some more until it's doubled in size. Like I said, about an hour and a half. And I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. I'm going to walk you through all the steps and you feel confident making it. It's a great high protein bread. It's great for dinner. It's great for breakfast. So I really want you to make it. So let me show you what happens after an hour and a half. As more than doubles. So we're going to punch that down. And then we're going to slowly take it out. Now, this is a very high rising dough. So we're going to, once we scrape it out, I put a little bit of flour on the bench. We're just going to fold it in like an egg roll. And fold and tuck and tuck. And just fold those ends under so you have a nice loaf. I'm going to transfer it to a pan that has been dusted with some more flour. You can split that dusted flour on top. Put a nice little bit of gluten coat on top. And then we're going to let that rise for 1 hour. We're going to bake it at 375 until the internal temperature is at least 210 degrees. Okay, our loaf is ready to, you can tell, the indent stays in. We're going to give it 2 slashes, put it in the oven for 40 minutes. So we'll give it a temperature. It needs to be over 200. So it's about 40 minutes. You'll start to probe it at that point and you'll know where you're at. Tell you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, it's been 40 minutes and you can see it's at 204 degrees, which is perfect. So the only thing left to do is to let it cool and enjoy. I hope to give this a try. I hope that you'll give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And I would love to hear how you like it. Have a blessed day. And remember to get some cottage cheese into your daily meals.